that's a lot of times. This is the way that you should live your life. Okay, be rigid. Be rigid. Stick to your guns. Stick to your morals. Do what you think is necessary to get to the goals that you want to. But also be flexible. Be flexible. Be a little bit flexible because you don't want to snap. You don't want to break like what happened to the dude that Bethany Benz was, you know, shablamming. It was a pretty bad situation. And she was not sorry for it. Look it up. She wasn't sorry for it. She wasn't apologetic about it. She actually said it was his fault. If you could believe that. Dude, sayonara. I mean, like really, like that's interesting to say that to blame the guy. You know, that's really interesting to blame the guy when something like that, something tragic like that happens. You know, just just girls be careful. Guys be careful too. Like it happened during rioting, and if you guys know anything about that, what you do, yeah, you gotta be careful, man. It's a scary thought. It haunted me for a long time because I didn't know that was possible. Actually, I learned about it before then, before that incident that I learned about. I knew about it prior to that, but it was like I don't know. It was like it was scary, but then when in practice, when you hear about it, it's like oh god, like you kind of like do like the soccer players when somebody gets like a free kick. I don't know what the name of it is. Um, Football internationally, but we know it as soccer because we're from America. Um, but yeah, they guard themselves. They do this. They do this. Can you see? They do this in front of their protect themselves. Anyway, uh, see, I say football most of the times when I'm referring to soccer. When I'm speaking to someone who I know will understand that means soccer, I will say football because of that side of me. And then I will say soccer when I'm talking to an American because of that side of me. Yeah, that means something, right? My heart, I have it's on this side because my heart, pumping through my blood is half and half. My ancestors built this country. It was on their backs to build this country, but also my ancestors were in the islands working there as well. Um, you know, how do you console that? You don't. You live on both sides and you enjoy both sides. I love my half blood. I love being able to go back to the island and have family there and be able to speak to them in patois and being able to just you know not be looked at as American at all until you know eventually my accent doesn't really completely uh, merge into patois. So obviously you can hear the American side of me when I speak, and so yeah, man, it's like it's hard to be spotted out unless you talk a lot. My brothers always say that. They say no one will ever know that you're from the states until you open your mouth. And then like a lot of people will know unless I'm speaking very few phrases and very few sentences and trying to blend in with the culture and just using everything that I know from basically talking to them and having conversations with them. Uh, Using that, those all the tools in my wheelhouse helps me navigate and also helps me continue to be uh, looked upon as brethren, and then start talking, start my vocabulary starts running out in some cases. Have to use some American words, and then they're like, gotcha. So no, they're not like gotcha, but they're just like, yeah, I knew something was off, but I wasn't sure until you started. Yeah, but then my American side of me, it's like my ancestors built this country. You got some people who say like I'm gonna move out of the country for this law or that law. I'm gonna move. It's like, yeah, I don't agree with that because our culture is ingrained in this country, and we helped build this country, and uh, all of my history is here. Half of it is here. Um, so obviously, if I was gonna relocate to somewhere, it would be somewhere that's also in my blood. So that would be Jamaica. But as far as like where I want to be, that's mostly here. But that's because I feel like we all deserve to have a piece of the success that's here. Uh, Everybody does who has migrated here and put work in. you know, Excuse me. But yeah, it's like I feel like we specifically have a uh we have like a I was gonna say permission. I can't think of the word I was gonna use. We have like a say or a entitlement to a large piece of the American pie because of how we built it. Same as Native Americans, I believe they are too. They are privy to a large piece of the American pie as well. Unfortunately, you know, they were killed off in droves. So I'm still getting over this. Like, I'm pretty much over this cold. I had like terrible symptoms for a good minute, about a little over a week. No, probably a week. It was like 7 days. I had bad symptoms, terrible symptoms for about 4 or 5 of those days, and then 2 days I was getting better, and then now I just have that lingering, why are you still here? Go away, gravel part in my lungs where it's like every once in a while it's phlegmy. I also have that every once in a while blow a nose when I don't have like allergies normally, so it's like I almost ever. So only time I ever have allergies is like when I leave the country and I come back and I'm breathing the air in if I left the country and not even just the country, just the state, honestly. And you went to like I went to a very clean air location, remote, and then I come back, and I'm pretty sure this happens to most people. My doctor told me, so it's true, right? Uh, I'll go to a remote area, then I come back to the city, and when I'm in the city and the pollution gets to getting to me, and I have a couple of days where I'm like not so well, sneezy, itchy throat, all that type of stuff. I don't get the watery eyes or anything like that. I get dry eye. Yeah, I'll get a dry eye sometimes, stuff like that. And then after, excuse me. Yeah, I get that too. So the phlegm makes me cough sometimes too. But yeah, when I come back from whatever remote area, not really remote, but whatever location I'm at that has less pollution, and then I come to a more polluted area, I get all the symptoms of that. But I mean, can you really call that allergies though? I mean, yeah, you can call it allergies, but at the same time, it's more like your body getting readjusted to trash, trash air. Like, if you were rolling around in dirt all day every day, and then you go get clean and you stay clean for a week, and then you go back to whatever dirty area you were in, you're probably going to have some adverse effects. And that's really what our lungs and our nose, the nose, ears, throat. Yeah, that's all. Yeah. Ears, nose, and throat. ENT. Yeah, ear, nose, and throat. That's what really all that. That's really what it's kind of like you're ingesting that, but through those three orifices. So it's not really cool. It's like yeah, it's like nose trash. Yeah, but and then the lungs don't feel good. Yeah, it's not cool. In my opinion, I think that everybody should get away and kind of clear out that because you living in it all the time. I know it sucks coming back because then you're the breathing and all that stuff, and you go through the sickness feeling when you get back. But your body deserves a break, you know. Uh, So listen, it's a must. It's a must. We figured it out, right? We all figured it out. You have to poop before you get in the shower. End of discussion, right? End of discussion. You have to go. Listen, if you don't think you can go, try anyway. The worst situation that you can have is going in the shower before you went, and then you're in the shower and you're scrubby dub dub and you're washing. You know, if you're listening to the audio version only, that was me rubbing my body as if I was washing. No, but yeah, if you're washing and you're just sitting, yeah, standing in the shower, or you may be taking a bath or whatever, and then that feeling comes. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Worst ever. Butt on a wet butt on a dry toilet seat, slipping around, slip and slide, cold toilet seat. They're never warm, really. I don't care if it's the summertime, still cold, especially when you get out the shower. Jesus. All of that's just horrific. So, yeah, man, go before you go. Go before you get in. Saves you everything. And I should be really preaching to the choir. Everybody should be like, yeah, that's true. There should not be one human being that's like, no way. Everybody should just be, oh yeah, I do that. That's what everybody should be saying right now. No one should be like, oh, you've lost your mind. No one should be like that. Everyone should just agree with me, right? Because that's right, man. So at work, you guys know the sensors that you wash your hands with. Oh man, the sensors that you wash your hands with. Did that make any sense? Not at all. So let me start this over. So you guys know how there's sinks at your job or public places anywhere. Most places they're getting rid of the faucets where you turn them on. There's no more manual ones. They take those away because of germs, right? And people don't want to touch them. Okay, I get it. Even though you're washing your hands, I get it. There might be somebody who had poop on their hands and they touched it, and then you're like, oh god, no, no amount of washing washes that off. Like, it's the part. It's that type of nasty where you feel like you have to wash your hands multiple times and skin cells must come off your hands before layers of skin must come off your hands before you feel like, boom, you can eat again or touch food with your hands again. You can't, if you touch poop, you can't touch food with your bare hands until a layer of skin comes off. An entire you've got to be, baby skin smooth. Use a pumice stone. Use that soap that mechanics used with the grit inside of it, and you're just like, and you feel like your skin scales coming off. You have to use that to get to a point where you can touch food again, or put food in your mouth, or any of that stuff. Uh, or, or touch the mouth part of something that you're about to put in your mouth. Any of that, any mouth thing. No. So I get it. We want sensors on our toilets. We want sensors on our sinks for that reason alone. But the problem is, and you guys know where I'm going with this. No one, no one thinks that those things work, let alone work well. They don't work. They all are trash. Every single sensor, when you put your hands under it, it takes like 3 seconds at least to identify that you're there. And sometimes it doesn't even after 3 seconds. You got to pull your hand back, put it back under. Pull your hand back, put it back under. And then finally it's like, oh, there's a human there. And listen, it has nothing to do with the color of your skin. Everybody's doing it with this part of their hand. Okay? So I don't want to hear none of that. Everybody's doing this part of the hand everybody's this part of the hand's pretty much white. There may be a few choice characters, people who, have very dark inside of the hand, but most human beings have white inside of the hand, or light hued enough where the color of the inside of your hand, it's like negligible, right? It's like it's the inside of your hand, and it's light enough that the darkest inside of the hand shouldn't be a deterrent from the sensor. So why are these things not working? I feel like they've been around for such a long time. They don't work, but you have sensors where you walk into a room, motion sensors, and they work like that. But you mean to tell me you can't get the hand sensor for the soap dispenser to work or the faucet to work? What's up with that? Every once in a while you'll get a bad paper towel dispenser as well. Not as often, but I've had them. I've had situations where you're doing this, and it's like, what the hell? Like, come out, and But specifically, the soap dispensers and the faucets, I mean, they're horrible, right? So, what's going on with those? So, this story has a premise to it. I promise you. I'm going on a little soapbox about it because I've been going through it for quite a long time at different jobs, at different occupations, at different, um, uh, public events or public toilets or whatever that you have to go to. I tend not to poop in the public areas, but you have to pee, you go pee, and you have to wash your hands or whatever. So, at my job, I got so fed up with it. I was like, I wonder if there's some type of setting. So I looked underneath the sink, and there was a button, and it said set sensor range. And I was like, what is that? Sounds like my cup of tea right there. It sounds like something that I was looking for. So I put my hand, I pressed the button first, and then it starts blinking. And so I put my hand like kind of far away from the sensor, like really far, because I was thinking, all right, if this thing is like infrared or photo sensors, it's probably a photo sensor. It has some type of sensitivity where if I'm further away, it can detect, my hands there at a further distance. So I put it there, and then I think it started blinking, and I pressed the button again because it was like it wasn't working. So I put my hand there, it blinked. So if it was like a acknowledge blink, but it hadn't been set yet at that setting. So I was like, so I tried to put my hand back, put it back, it didn't work. So I was like, maybe I have to press the button again. Obviously, there's no instructions on the sensor information, the sensor controls that are underneath the sink. So I'm over here free winging it. I'm winging it. Free winging it. Free balling. Winging it. I mix them together. I'm free winging it. I like that. I'm keeping that. So I'm free winging it, right? And so as I'm free winging it, I press the button. I'm going to use that term a couple times more just because I like it so much. I'm free winging it, and I press the button one more time, and lo and behold, it stopped blinking. So I'm thinking acknowledgement, right? So acknowledged and setting set. So then I try it again, and I'm like, all right, let's see. This is the moment of truth. No whammies, no whammies, no whammies. Bang! And I put my hand underneath there, and lo and behold, the water starts coming out full blast with like no hesitation. Then I take my hand back away from it. Water turns off. Put my hand back on there. Water cuts on. Hand back off. Water cuts off. Over and over again. I have solved the crisis. Now, I only did that to one sink. The other sink is a bum sink. It's trash, right? It's the sensor's still not set. I was like, this is my secret that only I know about, and I'm doing it to one sink, and all you other people can suffer. This is for me, and this should only be for me. And when you guys go and do it at your job, it's only for you. Don't let your coworkers know. It's about you and only you. No one else shall find out about the secrets of the golden scepter. Only you shall know about the secrets. You and everybody in this that's watching this podcast. Us. Only us. No one outside. And if they want to know about it, they've got to come watch, right? So that's our gimmick. We're gonna bring you secrets that you can also find on TikTok, but you can only watch this. But you have to watch this podcast to get the real 911. Cause I'll watch hours and hours of TikTok for you, so you don't have to waste your life. No, I was addicted to TikTok for a quick minute there. TikTok was it was so addictive. It was so good at the algorithm was so good at knowing what I liked and what I wanted to watch. It was so good at that I got addicted. I can admit that I got addicted. I started watching video. It would be like hours after work. I would be watching it, and you know, get off of work, sun's out. All of a sudden, you get off of TikTok, and your phone's about to die, and you look up, and you're like, it's nighttime. Basically nighttime now. So I had to get off of it. I had to make a conscious decision after about a month of being addicted and having so many bookmark videos from like videos that I loved. So many of them. I had probably hundreds. I had amassed hundreds in that month. It was bad. But here's the thing that helped me get off of TikTok personally. Not only was the time wasting thing was a bad, and I felt bad for wasting so much time. It's not good, not a good look. Personally, it's not good for your self esteem once you get off and you're like, oh man, and then later on the day you want to watch it again and all that. But what helped me get off of it and make that final decision to be like, this is I gotta stop. And this is no smoke towards anybody who gets addicted to the TikTok or they're still addicted to the TikTok. To the TikTok. I'm grandpa. The TikTok and the Facebook and the MySpace and the Instagram and the Snapchat and the internet. The and the www dot. But anyway, um, but yeah, so what happened with me was is that I saved so many good videos, and my thing is comedy or information that's just like really cool. That's my two wheelhouses. Like I like creative things. Like sometimes when somebody might do something creative, I might save that, but that's usually not my biggest thing. Dancing. Sometimes I'll get a video where it's like it's so good that I'm like, oh, that's cool, or the song is amazing, and they that type of stuff. Like there's times like that when people hit the beat perfectly. I'll save those sometimes. It's not as frequent because in me it's and I'm not the dancing guy. Okay, so I'm not over here judging other people as far as like I'm saying shit I could have done better. I'm not saying that at all. What I am saying is that I'm judging you with my critique on what I like. Damn my voice. On what I like. That's better. Take two. Uh for me it's like for me it's like take someone who's dancing and I really enjoy their dancing and it's stellar. I mean, I can't find a flaw in it, then I might save it. The beat's amazing, the song's amazing, you chose great. And, something that's different than just there's three people dancing in front of a camera, doing the Charlie D'Amelio dance. Renegade. But yeah, so all that as that said, let me start that over. Um I, my brain just turned off just for a minute and it rebooted. So yeah, yeah. So restart. I just hear like the Mac music, when it restarts, like way back in like 1998, um, or 2003. So yeah. Anyway, um, with that being said, uh, all the videos that I really enjoyed watching, I kept saving. And I wanted to go back and look at those videos, and I frequently did. Sometimes TikTok would be off, or it'd have an off day, and the algorithm wasn't hitting. So I would go back to videos that I watched and laugh again because I'm that guy. I will laugh. I like videos that I can go back, rewatch, and laugh just as hard as the first time I watched it. And I can watch it succinct, like over and over again, and just keep it on loop just because it's that funny. Um, and I just started noticing a lot of my videos would have a image. It's turned gray and had an image of a play button broken in half. Huh, that's strange. Next time you go back, oh, more of them. So then you clear them out. Next time you go back, and these are like, I'm talking about 3 days between, 3 days time between when I save these videos and then I go back to watch them. And there's 10 videos or 15 videos or between 5 to 15 videos literally just gone, and they've been taken off the platform, deplatformed. And I don't watch a bunch of like controversial stuff where it's like, it's political or whatever, where it's like, I mean, every once in a while you might have a funny political one where they're doing uh imitations of presidents or whatever. That's funny. But majority of my stuff's not like that. A lot of my stuff's just funny stuff, and apparently it's against TikTok's guidelines somehow. Go figure. They're against comedy in some way, or they're against whatever else I was watching. Oh, singing a lot. When someone's doing lip syncing or that type of stuff. Oh, copyright infringement because you have music in it. So whatever it happened to be, and it's not and I know you're probably thinking it's like, oh, well, maybe most of the videos you were watching had music in it that was against copyright, so they removed it. Not always. That's like I said, a lot of my stuff, it's funny stuff that doesn't have music to go with it. Some of the stuff had music, but a lot of it didn't. So I'm just going, and I'm going back into my library and my saved TikTok videos, and there's so many just missing quickly. And I've never had that problem with any other platform. I mean, all platforms eventually, there's some links that get broken, some of the videos get taken down. I get it. Once in a while that happens, once or twice, you know, but this frequently. So it was stuff that I was like, oh man, I had an amazing time laughing to that, but then I can't go back and watch it. Now, TikTok does have a feature where you can download the videos, but you'd be sitting there downloading so many videos, and then where do you save them to? I can save them to the cloud, and you go back and look at them off the cloud or whatever. But it's just it can be a hassle. Like it's got to be an exceptional, stellar video. I mean, one I can't live without for me to download, or one I save to and send to my wife or something like that, because she doesn't have TikTok, so she can watch a certain amount of videos without them cutting her off or whatever. So a lot of times I might download it, send it to her, and then just tell her to delete it afterwards. So but for the most part, I'm sitting here like, these were great videos, but they weren't videos I felt that I wanted to take up my precious cloud storage with. Although I have a massive amount of cloud storage, and I could always get more. It's not a big deal. It's like $2.99. Well, it's $1.99. I think the next package is $2.99. That's a month. That's fine. And if you pay a yearly subscription, you get 2 months free. That's awesome. But it's just, you expect a platform to be dignified to a point where I don't have to guess if the things that I upload or the things that I have or the things that I enjoy will not be missing in a short span of time. So that was just a turnoff for me. I really can't do it. And I know it's funny to me is that you would think that the reason why you got for TikTok is because they're stealing your information. No, have it. Take it. Have at it. No, I'm just kidding. I have two phones. I have an old phone. Uh, I don't really do the whole trade in a phone to get X amount of dollars off of it. Like it's like it's attractive to do that, but um, you don't have a backup phone in that case. So say you smash your phone to bits, or data gets corrupted, or or if it's just some damage to your phone, you have to send it in and get it repaired. What do you have for that 3 days that it takes them to fix it, or 2 days to get, or it might be just one day. It might be just you might be able to. It might just be one day, and it's like, hey, don't be an American, don't be a silly, a technology slave and can't get off of it to a point where it's like, yo, you can't go without your phone for a day. But in a lot of cases, there's not phones around, and you have to go look like kind of a crazy person to go ask somebody to borrow their cell phone so you can make a call to whoever. And if there's an emergency, you're fucked in a lot of cases. Say you break down in the middle of the road, like no one's gonna come, no one's gonna stop. Why is no one going to stop? Because no one trusts people. We're in a day and an age where no one trusts you and you don't trust anyone else. And the only time you want someone to trust you is when you're in trouble. And just think about how you would be, and it's not, this is not generalizing. It's not overgeneralization. It's just a massive percentage of the population, they like, go fuck yourself. I'm not helping you because I feel like you might have an um not alter ego, but you guys know what I'm trying to say. It's alter uh um crap. It's gonna come to me later, but yeah. Oh, ulterior motives, that's the word I was looking for, the compound word. Ulterior motives is, you might have ulterior motives. You may try to rob me, you may try to harm me in some way, you may try to anything, might be, you might be trying to traffic me, man. I don't trust you. So a lot of times it's hard to trust people in a society where we're becoming further and further apart. So with that being said, you want to have something on you where you can call someone you do trust, and you can call, an emergency contacts, or emergency roadside assistance, or what, AAA, whatever you have. Um, you might have progressive roadside assistance, whatever, and it's like, it's the comfort of being able to do that. And you might think, what's the chances of that much going wrong after I broke my phone, and it's in, and I break, you fix, no, you break, I fix, and what's the chances of something going wrong in the 12 hours it takes them to fix your phone? Well, it's like, what's that law? Murphy's Law. Everything that can happen will happen, right? So you first break your phone, then you pop a tire, then it starts raining. That's why I'm saying you want to have a second phone. Don't trade in every device because you can get a buck off. I know sometimes it's so appealing to just get a buck off, but if it's really worth it, save up just a little bit of money, wait a little bit longer if you can. I'm not, this might not apply to everybody, but I'm saying, if it's possible, do it. You know, that extra $300 for, they take $300 off. Nowadays it's getting crazy. They're like $400, $500 off. If trade in your old iPhone, get $500, $450 off, $300 off your new iPhone, plus 50, plus they'll be like, plus an extra $100 off the phone, plus $400 when you trade it in your old phone. It'll be crazy stuff like that. So it's really attractive. But then, like the scenario I'm talking about, you don't have a backup phone for anything. So you smash your screen. You don't have anything. So I I have a second phone, and that second phone is mostly my BS phone. I just have just apps that I don't trust necessarily, sketchy apps, um, very battery hungry apps, or battery hungry stuff. Yeah, battery hungry apps and that type of stuff on it. And I just keep those things on that phone, and I keep my daily driver. I keep my day to day phone. I keep that one free and clear, and just the apps that I really trust and need on a weekly or maybe even monthly basis. I keep those on my walk around phone, and contacts and stuff like that. My backup phone doesn't have all of the stuff that's near and dear to my heart. All the anything like contacts and stuff like that. I don't have all that stuff on there because obviously it's your backup phone, so you don't keep an eye on it quite as closely as you do your daily walk around phone. So because of that, I just keep just BS on there. That's why I call it the BS phone for now. I mean, I just made that up literally right now. I don't call it the BS phone. That's just my alternate. But yeah, so no, so I'll get off my high horse or whatever. It's not even high horse because that sounds persnickety and snobby. I'm not being neither one of those things. I'm literally just concerned that our culture is starting to become a throwaway culture where we don't salvage anything and we don't have any of the old technology any longer. And sometimes that stuff can really come in handy or be very useful. Um, and just, you never know when you might need something that's older. So keep it. Don't be a pack rat. Don't become a hoarder. Don't get on one of those shows. you know, don't do that. But definitely, keep some things. It's important to keep some things. Nostalgia. Um, oh man. So oh, I'm not talking about that. Uh, you know, so oh man. So there was this. I have this coat. I'm notoriously bad with names. Horrible with names. A lot of times people can tell me, "Hey, my name's John," and I forget 3 minutes later. It's terrible. I know. And so, uh, let's see. Yeah. So oftentimes, I have to kind of like associate someone's name with something to kind of remember who they are. Um, I can't think of any examples right now off the cuff, except for the one that I've just recently did. So, yeah, like if it's, I don't know, I don't want to think of an example because I already have a really good one. So I usually associate it with something, whatever it is. I kind of try to associate it with them, that thing that they have, that characteristic in them, or something that I can remember easily just to kind of remember. And I say it over and over again to just kind of uh, keep enforcing it until it's stuck in my head. And I do that with all new coworkers. It really sucks when there's multiple new coworkers at the same time. Like if there's 3 new hires in a very relatively short period, it's like damn. So then I have to kind of like write what's your face or what's your hair or what identifiable quality about you, and then write your name next to it, and then kind of like peek at it a couple times a day so I can kind of ingrain it in my mind. That's how bad it is. Most people probably don't have that issue. Me, I've had it my entire life, dude. Like, I mean, I remember being a kid and being kind of embarrassed because I wouldn't remember adults' names that I needed to remember. I would remember the kids that were around me for some reason, but I wouldn't remember the adults' names, and I would forget them so quickly. And then I would be like, damn, I needed to speak to an adult, can't remember their name, and I just just be like Mister and Mrs. or however I say it. Um, a lot of times, in the culture that we grew up in, we would say Mama or Baba, which is Baba being father, and it's a respective thing that you do to someone who's an elder in your community. So a lot of times I would do that because it would just be easier than remember their name. So for me, I've grown up just knowing that I'm not going to remember people's names. So what I do is what I just told you. So recently I had a coworker whose name was Brandon, and for you, be easy for you to remember. Congratulations to you. For me, I have to associate it. So I'm like, what? Brandon, Brandon, Brandon. And it was terrible because the first thing that came to my mind was, let's go, Brandon. And for you guys who are privy to what let's go, Brandon means, you'll probably find that hilarious. I mean, I did. I was chuckling to myself at work, and I was like, that's so great of a way to remember his name, and it's so identifiable, so easy to remember. Every time I was walking to his desk, I would go, "Let's go, Brandon," and then I would be like, "What's up, Brandon?" And I would use his name. incorporate his name, because I do that with all the new, with all the employees. You incorporate their name as often as I can to get that ingrained in. So you face is whatever. Your you face is Brandon. Um, for you that don't know what Let's Go Brandon stands for, it was this viral video that came out I think a year ago, maybe like in I think it was 2000. I think it was 2022. It might have been 21, but I think it was 22 or like early 22. It was whenever NASCAR championships had ended, and they had the winner, his name was Brandon, and it might not even been NASCAR. I think it was NASCAR though. I just know that it was cars going around in a circle around a cage that protected the viewers and the audience. Um, and so there was a group of people who were, I guess they were probably on the right. I'm not sure. Maybe they just disliked Joe Biden, but they definitely did not like him for whatever reasons that they had, for all the reasons that they had. So they were chanting, "Fuck Joe Biden." Fuck Joe Biden. And they had the signs and everything. And they just kept yelling it. Fuck Joe Biden. And it really sucks because the guy's having a moment where he won and he's like, hey, he's like, he's happy. He won something or whatever. I don't know if it's his first time or not, but just imagine if it was your first time. And if it wasn't your first time, still, you trying to enjoy your little few seconds of fun. And your 5 minutes, your time to shine. And so the reporter who is talking to this guy Brandon hears hears the chanting, and I don't know if it was just out of pure obliviousness or if it was that she genuinely just did, like, I don't know if she genuinely didn't hear what they were saying correctly, or she was trying to smooth it over like peanut butter, but it was crunchy peanut butter. And she was like, "They're shouting your name. Let's go, Brandon. They saying let's go." This is how she said it. She's like, "They're like, let's go, Brandon." So it became a crazy viral meme, "Let's go Brandon," to be a covert way of saying fuck Joe Biden. And it was everywhere. There was memes, there was videos, there was people did remixes to it, and people were doing TikToks and jokes and everything about it, and they would just go let's go Brandon, and it became like, I mean, everywhere. Like there was signs in people's yards. I'm probably preaching to the choir. Most of you probably already know this, but whoever doesn't, it was hilarious. I don't care what political side you're on. I don't care if you're straight left, straight right, if you're libertarian. I don't care if you're, if you're the Green Party. It doesn't matter. That's funny. It's just funny. He could have been a president in another country, prime minister or whatever. The fact that it started out as a chant of "Let's go," of "fuck Joe Biden," and it got changed over to "Let's go Brandon," it's hilarious. It's great, and I use that to remember his name, and you guys use it too. You know what I mean? You got a coworker named Brandon. Just laugh on your way to his desk and just be like, or to his station, and just let's go, Brandon. What's up, Brandon? And then you say his name a lot more times than is necessary. You just keep saying Brandon. It's like, and he's like, what's up with this guy? He says my name a lot. Because I've had situations where people say my name a lot, and I always think like, are they saying my name a lot to ingrain it? Because that's something I do. And we only have our inside of ourselves to really not inflict, to reflect on what other human beings do. So yes, you can study human beings in general, and you can use that. But you have a little bit of self bias because the way that you think in your mind, you can't really pin anyone else's mind the same way that you can pin your own. You don't know anyone else's mind the same way you know your own mind. So of course you're gonna have some bias, and you're gonna think that person's thinking this because I think that way, and I can't imagine that they think so much askew from the way I think about this topic that it doesn't apply. So yeah, so it's just I think that's I think I think that yeah, I think that's pretty funny or pretty cool. Um, dude, so I just recently discovered something new in a world where you discover something new when eating breakfast. Just making sure I don't peek. But yeah, so I discovered one of the true treasures in life. The true treasure. So Tim Dillon, I remember a podcast he did, and he was talking about how the first day he realized that you were supposed to eat ice cream with the spoon down. So you scoop the ice cream, you put the spoon down so the ice cream is facing your tongue, and then you know, clean it. You clean the spoon, or you might use a fork, whatever. I like using forks sometimes when eating ice cream. Don't come after me. Don't come after me. I like using forks sometimes to eat ice cream. There's plenty of people who like it too. Okay, it's easier because you have like the space that you make with it, so the spoon kind of like compresses it. A fork kind of aerates it, and then there you go. So yeah, so spoon down, fork down, whatever you do, it's towards your taste buds. It's a simple, it's a simple concept. Yeah, it's a simple. Oh shit! I just had it. It's a simple contest. Oh my god! It's a simple concept, is what I'm trying to say. It's a simple concept, um, but not everybody might realize. Like it might not come to your mind. You might just think I'm using a spoon the way you use a spoon. It's like it's you just don't think of going upside down. You might not think that way. I've been doing it for years and years and years or whatever. I thought that was funny that he brought that up because I was like, yeah, that's something I've been doing for years. And I remember when I first discovered it too, and it was like life changing. So yeah. So I just recently, to segue into what I was about to speak about, is that I was using it. I used that concept a different way, but I didn't even realize that I was doing it until afterwards. I buttered some toast. You already know where I'm going with it. You already know. I don't even have to tell you. End of this. End the topic. Let's go to the next topic. No, but so I buttered some toast, right? And I had turned it face down because it was almost like the butter. I think the toast had kind of cooled down a little bit after I took it out. I sat down on a plate. I had some oatmeal. Threw the oatmeal down. And then I was like, okay, cool. Let me butter my toast real quick because the oatmeal was on the stove still, so I had to take it off the stove. Went back to my toast, started buttering my toast. The butter didn't melt all the way, so I was like, oh, let me turn it down on top of the toaster. Not the bet. Listen, okay. You don't. I'm not. Don't try this at home, okay? Because I'm not gonna be at fault for your mishaps because technically you could cause a grease fire if you had too much butter collected in the bottom of the reservoir of your toaster. I don't do it almost ever. It's just the very few times I have done it where the butter didn't melt, so I turned it upside down on top of the toaster, not in the toaster, literally just on top of it, because the toaster's still hot, and the heat exuding off of it melts your butter. So I had done that, and then when I took it off of the toaster, I put it on my plate the same way that it was on the toaster, so butter down. And then I started eating my food, the oatmeal, and I was like, oh, time to eat the toast. So I took a bite of the toast, forgetting that the butter was down, and explosions. It was like that Ellie Goulding song. Explosions when that song. It's like, dude, it was amazing. You have to try it. Butter your toast with the butter down. And a lot of you might already know this because you might butter both sides of your toast. And I've done that before. It's like Texas toast, but it's double buttered toast. You don't have it's not as thick. It's just you just regular toast and you just butter both sides, and that's amazing too. So if you've experienced that, you already know what I'm talking about. You've already done this, and you're like, of course. You haven't been doing this your whole life. So I normally just butter one side of the toast every once in a while if I'm feeling really, you know, really want to spoil myself a bit, I butter both sides. But yeah, it was just, oh man. And so now I only eat my toast upside down unless I butter both sides, which in that case it doesn't matter. Upside down, right side up. Which one even which is which? Can you even tell which one? There is no upside down or right side up because toast doesn't have a orientation, right? It's not trans. It's not straight. It's not gay. it's just it's just toast. No, but yeah, man. So like you guys try that if you haven't. If you have, you already know what I'm talking about, and we're part of the gang. We're part of the upside down toast gang or double sided toast king gang. Gang gang gang. Yeah, so that's cool. Listen, um, last thing I'm gonna talk about before I get out of here. Coffee is a medicine. Now remember that, okay? Coffee is a medicine. Coffee is a medicine because it is a stimulant that stimulates your brain and it attaches to um your sleepy receptors. There was these receptors that they get clogged up with sleepy juju. Now they get clogged up. They get attached. There's like I don't remember the actual word for it, but there's like a part of there's something in your body that gets attached to them, and as you get tired, more and more get attached, and you start yawning, get tired. So the coffee receptors they emulate that exact same uh, um, organism that's in your body. It's not an organism, but whatever. I'm gonna call it that for now because I can't remember the name. And it attaches to those sleepy receptors, and so it blocks out anything else from getting in there on the receptors or in the receptors. So you don't feel sleepy anymore or tired anymore because you physically can't be. With that being said, it's used by millions of people, maybe even billions, because there are billions of people on the planet, and half of those billions are adults, and probably half of those are working adults that get tired and need to have coffee in the morning when they go to work. So, because of that, you drink coffee to stay awake. Now we have Starbucks and we have coffee shops all over the globe that puts massive amounts of sugar and massive amounts of flavoring in it. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's completely fine. If that's your cup of tea, if that's your cup of coffee, that's your cup of coffee. So have at it, you know? But there's the thing about that. Don't forget that coffee is a medicine. So you have to you have to treat it as such. Sometimes you need to just have black coffee and you just need to suck it down and just be ready for the effects that it gives you. It's going to give you those effects and it's going to feel amazing. So drink your cup of coffee black once in a while. Everything doesn't have to be a treat. Sometimes you gotta if it was like the flu and you just need to take that disgusting Theraflu down, the syrup version, and just it gets stuck in your throat. You just you get chills, and you're like, no, I don't even wanna. I don't want it anymore. But you absolutely need to treat it like a medicine. Okay, so make sure it doesn't have to be sweet all the time. Just make sure you respect the coffee. Make sure that you respect the globe. I don't know what I'm talking about. Respect the globe. Who cares? No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I should edit that part out, right? Because we respect the globe. But no, seriously. Like, just respect the coffee and use, if you want a treat, that's fine. That's fine. Get you a treat. But a good old black cup of coffee with a couple, sugars in it, it never did anybody any wrong. And it also keeps you alert better. The sugar makes you crash. That's the problem. See, the sugar, it's like it's a fictitious pseudo version of alertness and awakeness, but it makes you crash earlier, and then you need more coffee, and then it's like it's a terrible feedback loop. It's you don't want to fall into that. So take some black coffee. and you may need to just you smaller amount of black coffee because obviously if you have the same cup of coffee, same size of coffee, but one's black and one's a latte, obviously the latte is going to have probably approximately half of the amount of coffee that the black coffee is going to have in it because there's no milk and all that other stuff. So maybe you only need half a cup. I tend to drink a whole at least 12 ounces, maybe sometimes 16 ounces of just black coffee. I love it. Uh, I have one of those single serve coffee makers where you just one cup. It's not a Keurig. No, I don't do Keurigs. I do single serve coffee that you dump the grinds in and you put it in there. You dump your water, pour your water in there, and then it makes one cup of coffee, or it's like 12 ounces of coffee. So it makes you maximum is 12 ounces of coffee. So then I'll do the 12 ounces and then I'll add an additional four and I'll make another one with four using the golden ratio of 2 tablespoons of coffee per cup of water. So I usually do about a little more than that actually because I kind of like my coffee a little stronger. So I make it a little bit stronger than the golden ratio, but at least the golden ratio is what you should be aiming for. And make sure that you are doubling up on that, man. Double up on it like I do. Become an addict. Let's be coffee addicts together. Get headaches when you don't have it because you didn't have your coffee for the day, even on a Sunday or a Saturday, even though you don't have to go to work, even though you got enough sleep, you still have a headache because you're addicted to coffee. You're addicted to caffeine. Drink more of it. All right, so let's do this together, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. And if you guys are thinking, you know, let me know. Maybe add something to the comments or add a like or something. Hit a subscribe maybe. Whatever you want to do, you know. You may want to just show some love. However you want to do it, I appreciate it either way. Thanks for joining me. Peace. Follow me.